My air fryer sausage and veggies recipe is a fast, easy, and healthy weeknight dinner. I'm Justin from Cooking with Coit. I specialize in clean comfort cooking. And remember, if you love this video, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Let's get started. Let's first go over all the ingredients you need to make this recipe. Sausage, zucchini, potatoes, red onion, bell peppers, I like red and orange, garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, thyme, and salt and pepper. And the one piece of special cooking equipment you're gonna need for this recipe is an air fryer. All right, guys, I am so incredibly happy and excited to show you this recipe today. This is one of those last minute weeknight dinners where you get home late and you're so tired from work or whatever else you had to do all day, and you just can't bring yourself to pay like $100 for a delivery order because it's so expensive now. Or number two, you don't want a complicated home cooking process. This recipe is so fast and so easy and doesn't have a lot of ingredients. The only hard part is literally just cutting everything up in the beginning, and that is it. So let's jump right into it. First thing we're gonna do is to cut our red onion. We're gonna take a half of a large red onion and we're gonna cut it into basically 1-inch size pieces. So first I take my half a red onion. It's already been peeled, by the way, and we're gonna cut it right in half here. And then I'm just gonna be cutting these sort of large chunks, just like that. Roughly about 1 inch is good. Very easy. And after we cut each ingredient, we are just going to dump it into our mixing bowl right over here. All right, now we're gonna move on to our zucchini. Let's chop off both of our ends here. With the zucchini, I like to cut it right down the middle, and I like to cut it into these half moon shapes. So it's essentially just like this. And for these size pieces, maybe a 1/2 inch. And again, let's dump everything into our bowl. Next, we're gonna cut our bell peppers. Now you can use any color bell peppers that you want in this recipe. I just thought red and orange would look really nice paired with the green of the zucchini and the reddish purple of the onion. So to cut the bell pepper, just cut off the stem, just like that. Then I like to flip it upside down. And what you're gonna notice is you've got basically 4 quadrants of your bell pepper. So just pick one at a time and put your knife at an angle and cut all the way through. And then now you've got exposure to where the seeds are. So just cut all the way around the seeds, making sure not to cut into the seeds or you're also gonna make a big mess. All right. And then what you're gonna be left with is just kind of like the core with a bunch of seeds, so we can just toss that. And then now just cut these bell pepper pieces into roughly the same size as the onion, about 1-inch size pieces. Now we're gonna add these bell peppers to our bowl. Now let's move on to our potatoes. The potatoes are gonna be the most firm vegetable that we put into the air fryer, so we need to be a little bit more mindful of the size of the pieces that we cut. So what I'm gonna first do is to quarter these potatoes, and then what I'm gonna do is to cut these pieces into thinner strips. Now, I have tested this recipe by cubing the potatoes, and the cubes just become too thick and they don't cook at the same rate as the vegetables and the sausage in this recipe. So you gotta cut them thinner. So I'm gonna again be cutting the half moon shapes like we did for the zucchini, but I'm just gonna be cutting them maybe 1/4 of an inch, just kind of like this. Let me show you. This is a really good size. Now let's add these potatoes into our mixing bowl. And the last thing we're gonna prep, and probably the most important, is the sausage. Now I chose a pre-cooked chicken sausage. Reason why I chose pre-cooked is because it's just kinda nice to have. I always feel like I've got some pre-cooked sausage in my refrigerator ready for either breakfast or dinner or anything like that. This is an Italian style. You could use any kind of sausage that you want, pork sausage, chicken sausage, really anything, and it's all gonna work great. But use pre-cooked if you can. I think it might change the cooking time if this were raw. But either way, you could figure it out. Now we're gonna cut our sausage into a similar 1/2 inch thick round piece. As a reminder, all of the recipes you see on my YouTube channel are also on my website where I give you the exact ingredients and instructions. And to find that link, check out the video description below. Now that we've got all of our ingredients prepped and in the bowl, let's next add a little bit of olive oil. My recipe calls for 1 tablespoon, but honestly, just put as much in as you feel like you need. The goal here is to make sure that all of the pieces of the veggie and the sausage can be coated really nicely with the olive oil. So let's give it a quick toss. Oh, I probably should have used a bigger bowl, but it's the first one that I grabbed. Just try to make do, but use a big bowl if you have one. Now we're gonna move on to our spices. We're first gonna start with 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, followed by 1 teaspoon of onion powder, We're also going to add a half a teaspoon of oregano. And if you guys have an Italian style spice blend at home, you could just use that. That's pretty much what I'm recreating here. And I'm also gonna add a half a teaspoon of thyme, a half a teaspoon of salt, and a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. Let's give this another nice big mix up. Try to get all the veggies and the sausage coated really nicely with the seasoning. Oh, and if you see this happen where the onion pieces are kind of stuck together, see if you can kind of separate them a little bit, because they're not gonna cook really well if it's big chunks of onion like that are all stuck together. Okay, and this is how everything should be looking right about now. Next, I want you to grab out your air fryer, and now this next step completely depends on how big of an air fryer you have. I think it's a 5.8 quart size air fryer. So what I think I'm gonna do, this is quite a bit of veggies and sausage. So you have two options. You can just dump it in and don't worry about it, and literally just keep cooking it until everything looks great. That's fine, you can totally do that. Or you could do this in 2 batches. I think today I'm gonna try doing it in 2 batches. I think I'm gonna get a little bit of a better result. And honestly, the cook time is only about 10 minutes, 10 to 16 minutes, depending on how full you make this. So I'll do 2 batches today and let's see how that goes. So I'm gonna add half of this mixture straight into the air fryer. I know some people that have bought 2 air fryers literally for this exact problem. An air fryer basket is only so big, so if you do 2 at the same time, you actually can make quite a lot of food. But now that we've got this set, let's pop it into the air fryer. Our temperature is going to be 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and we are gonna cook this for anywhere between 10 and 16 minutes. I am going to say 12 minutes to start, and let's see how we do. Now, if you have an air fryer that's got a dual heating element, that's like this one, we've got a heating element on the bottom and top, you don't need to do a lot of shaking midway, but if your air fryer only has one heating element, I do suggest that you pop it out halfway, give it a nice big shake, and then pop it in to finish the cooking time. All right, guys, the 14-minute timer just went off. Let's see how we did. Oh, look at how amazing this came out. It's all got this like nice crisp edge to it, and it looks so delicious. I cannot wait to give this a try. Before I do, if you've loved this recipe and you wanna see more just like it, check out my air fryers recipes playlist. Okay, let's give it a try. My air fryer sausage and veggies recipe is so incredibly good. The seasoning is perfect. Everything comes out a little crispy and so delicious. And guys, this one is super easy and super quick to make. I really hope you give it a try. I'll see you in the next video.